Bark, 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 bark. What's up, everybody? Chicken here, bringing you another Boom Beach video. Today, we're going to be going over the operation again, and I'm going to be showing you some hammerman replays. Spoilers, we did not beat him or do very well. Break down a couple PvP attacks with Zookas, and discuss some plans for the future. So, let's get into it. So first off, we're going to show you how to do Commodore. This goes for any level operation. It's going to be the exact same attack. It just depends. You might need two, I think, if you get up to, I don't even think the really higher bases have Commodore in it. So this is pretty well going to go for all of them. So you see what he's doing. He's actually he started out a little high when he started clearing the mines. You're going to want to use one barrage at halfway down in the middle of the second boom cannon there. And that's going to clear the mines to about, probably hit the last two that he's got done there. And then these three, you're going to put one artillery right in the middle. So that's going to be right basically between the cannon and the boom cannon there, right on top of that mine. And then you're going to use one batch of critters right on the end of this cannon here. And that's going to clear all the mines that you're going to need to create the path. So sometimes you'll get a rocket launcher loaded beach with like where the machine guns and the mortars are right now. So the only difference is you're going to have to pre-smoke before you put your Zookas down, but you're basically going to land them just like this. So you're going to have to be, so you just got to be careful about that and just pre-smoke. And then for this one, he just had to smoke right there because that's exactly where the mortar came in range. And as far as the walk, the Zooka path, it's not that difficult because you're basically just hugging the wall, so it's already kind of laid out for you. It's not really ever going to change, so you're just gonna stay tight to the wall. He actually could have flared it in one go, I think, so that could save you a bit more GBE too. And this flare is a little too high. You can flare back a bit. You don't need to get that close. Again, it's just gonna save you maybe one smoke, maybe one flare, a little bit of GBE. It doesn't matter for this one, because he has enough that the doctor has enough where it doesn't really make a difference. Okay, so then you're going to flare onto the core. There's always going to be at least 3 shocks needed. He only needed 2 today because that's just how much stuff was in range. Sometimes you'll get rocket launchers at the top here where this cannon is that you would have to spend another shock on. Usually there's always a shock launcher right here, so it's usually 1, 2, and then 3 shocks like it's got. But yeah, you're pretty well going to have to do it like it's being done right here. And then 3, maybe 4 Zooka shots should be able to take the core down every single time. So yeah, that's how it's done. That's it for Commodore. Commodore with the doctor. Alright, so then we'll hop on over to Andy's attack, and you know this is gonna be interesting. So what I would usually do for this is instead of throwing out all your GBE like this, obviously you're not gonna be able to do this at higher health bases too. I would just get my Zookas and I would put them right in the middle of those rocket launchers, and then you need 1 shock for the shock launcher and these 4 flamethrowers. And none of these rocket launchers here are going to be in range when your Zookas are in the middle. Yeah, they are going to step outside a little bit. They won't stay perfectly in that square, but they'll still be in the no-fire zone for the rocket launchers. So you can shock the one, just use that 1 shock there, and they should be able to take down all the rocket launchers and the shock launcher. You might have to use a second shock, just depends on how the order of how they take down everything. So yeah, and then I would re-smoke your Zookas once all the rocket launchers and basically all the stuff he's got here is cleared. And then I would smoke back to about here, put a shock right there like he's got now, a shock right here on the flamethrowers, and clear all that stuff out. You'll usually get a bunch of mortars here on the left. He's got a few, but I don't think those are actually going to be in range. So if they are, you just have to spend a couple shocks, and you shouldn't need more than 2. And even if they are, like, your Zookas should be spread enough apart that one mortar shell isn't going to take out half of them even. So yeah. He likes to use the cryoneers. I haven't found much use for them personally in operations because I think more damage is going to benefit you more than slowing down the defenses. So there, that goes down. But yeah, cryoneers can be useful, but I just don't think they're as beneficial as another boat of Zookas is going to do for you. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go into some attacks. Or sorry, I didn't show you mine. So I did this unboosted today just because it was a pretty easy base ballast. The only thing I was worried about was the mortars at the start. And you'll see how I didn't need to use a flare. I can just, since the defenses are right there, that's how that works. If there's defenses really close to the beach, you don't have to flare them to a certain spot because they're going to basically just stand right in front of those defenses and group up towards the one. So it kind of works like similar to how a flare would for grouping them up. So you can just smoke right on top of the flags if the defenses are close enough. So then I just walk over here, and you'll see how I flare, probably not as close as I should have, but close enough to these mortars. That's going to help keep them grouped up. If you flare them to a giant area, like if I just flared them right in the middle of this this open space here, then they're going to walk all around. They're going to walk to the machine guns, they're going to walk to the mortars, they're going to walk to the boom cannons, and you can't keep them under one smoke. So that's the reason why I do that. So once we get up here, I only needed the 3 shocks. That's why I didn't bother boosting, because it wasn't a high enough health base where I wouldn't be able to take it down with 1 shock. So it was just the mortars, the shock launcher, and the rocket launcher. I put the heel down just to be safe and threw some critters out, and boom, that went down. Okay, so after that, we did a couple PvP bases. Went in against Andres first. See, this guy, he forgot to switch out his hammerman base. I wasn't going to attack him at first because he didn't have that much ice, excuse me, but of course he had to be punished for not swapping the base out. So since he's front-loaded, it's going to be like pretty easy for Zookas because I can shock everything pretty well in like 2 shocks, so it's not that technical of an attack. I still lost some guys there. But yeah, once we got here and on the core, see, 1, 2, and I probably didn't even need those last 2. Those mortars would have been in range, so I definitely needed that. But I could have just shocked it in one go right there. So yeah, boom, boom, 2 shots. Zookas are definitely really good for player bases. The only thing is sometimes you'll get a base where, like, if you don't have boosted GBE, then it can be a problem. If you have like a shield gen HQ like way at the back here with like a ton of mines and like really spaced out rocket launchers, that's when it gets difficult because you need a lot of GBE just for the shocks and to clear the mines, and for the walk it gets pretty costly at that point. But anything you see like this is a great base to practice Zookas on, because if you're comfortable with warriors, it's basically the same process. Like, you just get them on the HQ and then you shock everything that all the splash damage buildings that are going to take them down. So I think that was 3 shots. Yeah, we're starting to lose a few now. I think those mortars were picking off a few, so that one definitely took a little bit more time. But we still got the job done. So we'll show you some hammermans. I only defended the first 3, which is pretty bad, but keep in mind I don't have any ice, and I don't have the most optimal hammerman setup by any means. So my base, it's kind of front loaded anyways, so I don't bother swapping it out for the first few. because all the rocket launchers and everything, basically if you have front-loaded rocket launchers for the first 3 hammermans, you're going to be okay. Unless you're like really, really low level. So yeah, bang, bang, bang. Just bringing in the heavies. I find shock launchers on the side work really well. We won that. I'm not going to bother showing the whole thing. It's kind of boring. Because you can kind of lead all his troops into the front while the shock launchers shock them from the sides without dying, and that's really going to help for just taking everything out and optimizing your damage output. So that goes down. That seemed like the easiest one so far. And then we'll show you where he starts to embarrass us a little bit here. This is the best defense, so we'll go ahead and show that. So if you didn't know, hammerman scales with your victory point medals. So the more medals you have, the higher his troop level is going to be, and the more, I believe, the more damage boost he's going to have. Damage and health, whatever his boosts are. I think that's all it is. It's just troop health and troop damage. So yeah, if you're really struggling with hammerman and you don't care about VP, that would be one way to make it easier on yourself, would just be to drop like 1 or 300 or whatever. I don't recommend dropping VP because it's going to be worth it to stay, like, it's more worth it in my opinion if you're like, if you really like defense and you want to build up your prototypes and stuff, or if you just want to farm prototype modules for a bit and maybe take a break from the game or whatever, then that would be a good way to do it, is drop VP and try to get easier hammermans. But in my opinion, it's going to be, the better thing to do would be to not necessarily push VP, but have it high enough to where you're getting at least like 7 or 8 stones. I think I get 7 stones in the supply chest and the daily reward, so which works out to be a crystal or a power powder, however you look at it, so it's basically worth it. You'll see I still got power powder on the rise here, and I've been boosting almost 10 statues every 2 days or so, and that's without power stone chance, so I think that that speaks for itself. So yeah, I was thinking this weekend, guys, about starting the troop loadout guide videos. So just let me know in the comments which ones you want to see first. I'm eventually going to get to all of them. I'll even do some weird ones. And yeah, so let me know what you think of that. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys soon. All right, chicken out.